which takes me to North Carolina. This is the problem I have with the Democratic establishment, right? So the law in North Carolina has become even more contentious. The transphobic law, the law that they're scaring everybody, saying that, you know, it just makes common sense for a man not to go into a woman's restroom or to a woman's shower, right? This transphobic law that's targeting and oppressing not just the LGBT community, but the T community, the transgender community, right? It's making a mockery of who they are and their existence, all for the sake of political games. And so the battle lines in North Carolina have been drawn. Conservatives have gotten entrenched. Democrats, liberals have gotten entrenched. And there's a political war looming. You have PayPal is no longer going to North Carolina. You have conventions that have pulled out of North Carolina. You have other corporations who are saying they won't do business in North Carolina. You have states who are not allowing their employees to use state money to go to North Carolina. And so North Carolina is really getting hit. And you have Republicans on one side of the aisle saying that they're okay. You know, this is the quote: if we save one woman from being accosted by a man, a transgendered woman, right? Because they won't ever recognize. If they can prevent that from happening, then all of the economics damage, sanctions essentially are worth it. Okay, watch this. Let's keep talking about that. Before I get on the Republicans too hard, I have to point out the fact that inside of this law, or not just inside of this law, rather, what I'm trying to say is the people who supported this law, the reason this became a law in North Carolina was by virtue of the support of 12 Democrats. 12 Democrats voted for this law in North Carolina, 5 of whom have endorsed Hillary Clinton. And yet the narrative of what's happening in North Carolina is that it's a Democrat versus a Republican thing, when in actuality, it is a mostly Democrats versus mostly Republicans and 12 Democrats. Those Democrats gave the Republican Party cover and allowed them to claim that it was a bipartisan bill, which it was. It ended up being a bipartisan transphobic bill. And now here we are, where essentially the entire state is being held hostage by this piece of legislation. Local municipalities, local governments, they're not able to pass any anti-discrimination ordinances on their level. They have to wait for the state level, and the state has already made it clear where it's going. Besides the bill itself, which we've talked about, the fact of the matter, the thing that bothers me about this is they're casting the narrative as being simply conservatives versus Democrats, Republicans versus Democrats, Democrats versus Republicans, when in reality, had those 12 Democrats who are part of the Democratic establishment not voted for this law, it would not be law today. If those 5 Democrats who endorsed Hillary Clinton had not voted for this legislation, it probably would not be law today. We cannot allow these oversimplified narratives to distract us from the problem or the reality that there's a problem on our side of the aisle too. The problem is not just the Republicans. I've got plenty for you Republicans. Hold tight until the primaries are over. I got plenty for your ass. But right now, we have to highlight the problems inside of the Democratic Party and inside of the left-leaning parties of America, and realize that some of the things they have been trying to tell us to fight against are being perpetrated by them. Because this law in North Carolina would not exist if not for those Democrats. And they want us to just unite blue. They want us to unite blue, when in reality, uniting blue in this case means uniting with transphobia. You want to know who they are? Thank you, Nick. Representative William Brisson, Representative Elmer Floyd, Charles Graham, George Graham, Ken Goodman, Howard Hunter III, Larry Bell, Garland Pierce, Brad Salmon, William Richardson, and Michael Ray. All of them Democrats. All of them part of the establishment. 5 of them have endorsed Hillary Clinton. And now they have the nerve to say that this is a fight of the Democratic Party against the Republicans. And this is a reason why we should vote Republicans out and help vote Democrats in. The hell we do? Not when we have Democrats being a part of the problem. And if, going back to the John Kerry story, if the leadership of the Democratic Party in North Carolina is not willing to call out their own, then the leadership, they're no good either. If we have to look at these Democrats in North Carolina and just accept them as being perfect because they're Democrats, and we can't call them out because they're Democrats, we can't primary them because they're Democrats, then what the hell good is being a damn Democrat?